School systems are currently analyzing and reflecting on the impact positive reinforcement has on absenteeism. School districts now have to report and monitor their absenteeism data more frequently than years past. This is the first 9-week absentee data from Pine Level. This plan will focus on the 4th and 5th graders who have been absent for 5 or more days during a 9-week period. Schools have begun to focus more on absentees because in 2015, the Every Student Succeeds Act was passed. This asks states to report non-traditional measures of student progress while encouraging the schools to focus on the whole child. Let's look at a theory and literature that support and discuss the benefits of positive reinforcements and its effect on absenteeism. So in the article, Incentive Theory of Motivation, Praveen wrote about B.F. Skinner's theory of motivation, suggested that good behaviors are motivated with positive reinforcement. Additionally, Kraft and Daughtry wrote in Journal of Research on Educational Effectiveness how when positive reinforcement is absent from the classroom, teachers are spending more time correcting absenteeism. The research and design of this project, the sampling method, is the purposive sampling method. The experimental quantitative design will incorporate the 4th and 5th grade students at Pine Level who have missed 5 or more days in a 9-week period. The instrumentation that will be used is the attendance committee's 9-week data summary, iNow, and attendance data collection form that you see here to your right. Collaborative efforts will need to come from 4th and 5th grade homeroom teachers and attendance committee members. The procedures for the research are as follows. iNow will identify the students who have missed 5 or more days in school in the 9-week period. After those students have been identified, the researcher will meet with those students on an individual basis to explain the study. If the students agree to participate, they will need to sign a consent form, and then they'll take a parental consent form home explaining the research project to their parents. Providing that the consent was given, the participant will check in with the researcher each morning before going to their homeroom and record their attendance data on the attendance daily data collection sheet. The student will then receive the positive reinforcement for being present that day. The validity of the research includes external validity, which would be parents keeping students at home, unexpected car problems, and researchers or teachers being absent from school. Internal validity would include human error, entering something incorrectly into iNow, teachers not posting attendance, and a small population of students participating. Ethical considerations include a student consent form and parental consent form. Present results. So by addressing the absenteeism through positive reinforcement, schools are able to create a stronger and more trustworthy relationship with their students. To obtain the student achievement, the researcher will need to be ready and prepared for the student to check in each morning and recognize what positive reinforcement works best for the individual student. The data collected each day will need to be accurate. Reflecting back, this research project was originally created during the fall of 2020, and since this time, COVID-19 has caused many schools, including Pine Level, to move to a virtual learning platform. Positive reinforcements will be needed to decrease student absences. Some improvements to the original plan include parent communication. Communicate with the parents on how virtual learning attendance check-ins will take place. We will also need to improve the virtual learning check-in. For the student and guardians, we need to decide on a time before daily instruction begins to meet with the student. And the daily attendance data sheet can still be used, but another component will need to be added to monitor the student's attendance with classroom instruction. Virtual positive reinforcements will also have to be added, considering that learning takes place on a virtual platform. Some of those virtual positive reinforcements would include participating in a virtual field trip, snack or lunch virtually with a teacher, or virtual classroom jobs. So now what do we need to do? The beginning of the 2021 school year, we need to monitor. We need to have our data sheets ready to go to start watching the attendance. Then we need to recognize, we need to analyze that attendance daily data and begin noticing students who are not consistent to attending and reach out to those families to make sure everything's okay. After the attendance data begins to be collected, the students have accumulated 5 absences, then positive reinforcement research can begin.